Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, I am going to be doing my week 4 budget check-in for September, which is supposed to be the 21st through the 27th. And then I will be back next Friday to do a wrap-up of September on everything that has happened. So that is going to be that. And let's go ahead and get started with some transactions. I really didn't spend all that much money this week, so I will, at the end of this video, of course, do another face-to-face because I have a little follow-up on all of my water meter issues and everything going on, so please stick around to the end. And let's go ahead and get started with my trackers. I keep moving them around on the screen. I'm sorry. I have not paid anything extra to debt that has actually transferred through. I just did some transactions today, but of course it takes some time for all of that to get work through the system. So hopefully by the end of the month I'll be able to report more going to debt, more payments towards debt. Okay, starting off with two bills. I had my Netflix on the 21st, and then on the 25th I had my Apple One subscriptions. Nothing in auto. I did have two restaurants. I was doing so well. I was doing so well this month with no restaurants. But I just haven't wanted to go to the grocery store this week, to be honest. So I ordered a pizza Sunday because I was working on deep cleaning my kitchen. I did yard work. I did reset the whole house. I did a lot on Sunday, so look forward to that cleaning video coming up in a couple days for you guys on Sunday. And because I actually have done a lot, I still need to do some more in the kitchen, but it is what it is. So I did order a pizza on Sunday. I'm gonna put it on the 25th because that's the day the transaction went through. And then yesterday when I was in the office, I was too hungry to eat my soup that I had taken to the office. So I went downstairs and grabbed a burger and fries and a Dr. Pepper. And it was a good burger. Worth the $12 for it. Nothing in business yet. There will be some next week in the follow-up because I had to purchase a new external hard drive because I am out of space on my external hard drive. But that won't go through until next week's. Entertainment, nothing. Crafts, nothing. Personal, nothing. Pet food, nothing. I do need to go to the grocery store and pick up more pet food, but I'm going to push that off until tomorrow when I actually have a day off and can actually figure out when I can go to the grocery store and avoid all the school traffic and everything. Gifts, nothing. I do have one household. It was for a candle on the 21st. Nothing for sinking funds yet. Or no, not for sinking funds. There's not going to be anything for sinking funds this month. We're done. And then, actually, we are going to have some. I have to think about that. I did not have any miscellaneous fees for this week, so that is good. However, I did get a bill from my podiatrist, but it wasn't for physical therapy. It was for a boot. I don't know if it was the boot that I got, or if it was for the sleeping boot. I don't know which one it is, but one of them I got. And the insurance didn't cover all of it. I need to pay the podiatrist $40 for it. So I have a bill for that. I'm not going to pay that until October, to be honest. So we're going to hold off on that. So putting down my no spend trackers. And one today as well. And then that's it. That's all the expenses that I had for this week. Really and truly. There is stuff in the works, like I need to go to the grocery store to pick up more cat food and the 3 random food items that I mentioned. And then I also have My emergency fund needs to be pulled out as well, the $100 to go into my emergency fund. But that should be it for the rest of the month, really. Yeah, and then of course any debt payments that I make that I will share with you in next week's video. But let's go ahead and start doing all the tracking and everything. I did get paid $6 for jury duty, for doing jury duty for the city of Houston. So on top of the $87.01 extra, and I don't know why I need a calculator to add this, but my brain just doesn't want to work today. So 6 plus $87.01 is $93.01. So miscellaneous income is always a good thing. So that is in there. And then groceries, we're gonna come right over here. I didn't think I needed my red pen, but apparently I need it. We did not spend anything, so we still have $201.99 remaining in groceries that I still could spend in the next couple days at groceries. But I'm gonna try not to, because I've already allocated money to pay off some credit cards. So that kind of helps out in that I am not paying anything extra. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by work emails while trying to find a red pen. So $392. We did not spend anything in miscellaneous this week, so we still have a negative $113.92, which really and truly is excellent for me. I don't think I'll ever have a month where I'll have zero miscellaneous. Just being honest, I don't think there will ever be a month like that, because that's why I have that out there in case I just forgot to budget for something and it's out there just for that something else happening type thing. So from here, let's go ahead and check in on bills first. So Netflix, $10.81 paid, and then Apple One, $35.21 as well. I don't know why I didn't have my cell phone one up here marked, but I did do it. So as far as bills, the remaining of the bills, emergency fund is the only thing left that I need to pay for this month. Okay, restaurants, we're gonna add up $22.70 plus $12.62, $35.32. I am still well under budget for my restaurants because I allotted $50 for it. So I'm putting it in pencil just in case I end up going in the next couple days to get something else to eat. As far as household goes, we have $22.40 for this week, and we've already way overspent this month on household, but we have $186.18, so that is a grand total of $208. $208.58. Okay, there's a final look of what it looks like so far. Again, next week I will be back to discuss the final numbers of everything and how this actually turned out. So let's go ahead and flip the camera up and do a face-to-face, give you an update on what is going on. Possibly some good news. Still kind of up in the air right now, but possibly some good news. So let's go ahead and flip the camera. Okay, story time. Well, first, I'm going to introduce myself to those of you that are new. My name is Charlotte. I do live by myself. I own my home. I have how many cats do I have? I have 3 that live inside and 3 that live outside. So I am a cat mom, and I live in the Houston area. I have a full-time job working. The computers are right here. Let's go ahead and start in with some things that I'm planning that I already put into the works today for the rest of the month. So that way it's just like a precursor for next week's video. But I have already worked on trying to allot money to pay towards debt, more debt for this month, and really wanted to just kind of get some of that paid off this month and start, you know, with a little bit less debt in October and just try to work on that. I don't know all of my bills yet, like how much they are for water or any of that type of stuff yet for October. So I have not even been able to like start number crunching on all of that type of stuff. So we're just focusing on this past week and what we can do until September 30th. So with that in place, I knew when I started this month, actually it was about 2 weeks ago, that I had $400 saved up in my vacation sinking fund. And then I also knew I would be putting in $100 this month for a total of 500 something dollars. And so I was like, okay, when I did the down payment for my vacation a couple weeks ago, I knew that I would be able to go ahead and transfer the majority of what I owed for the down payment from my vacation fund, sinking fund, into the credit card. So I did exactly that. I have currently on the credit card number 2 a balance of $715.90, and I am actually going to be paying $586.38 from my vacation fund onto that credit card. So that has already been set up to transfer over. And then from there, that leaves me a remaining of $129.52. And I was like, you know what? Do some number crunching myself on what I have in my checking account to what remaining bills I have left for this month. And I have three things that I'm planning on spending money on. So the first thing are 2 bills. I still need to pay my water bill. I will go into this a little bit later on what's going on with the water bill. My water bill was due on the 18th, but I noticed in August that the bill was a lot higher than normal. Like this bill is $383, and I called to kind of dispute and try to figure out what's going on with my meter. And because I called at the beginning of September, I deferred payment for 30 days. So I don't need to pay my bill until September 30th, which is this weekend. So we're still disputing it. I'll go into this in a little bit later, but I am planning to have that $383 pulled out of my account this weekend. So I am thinking I need to make sure I have money in my account for that amount of money, because that is a large amount of money. From there, I also know that I have my $100 emergency fund transfer, the $100 that goes into that monthly goes into my emergency fund. That is scheduled as well still. So that we're at $483 that I need to make sure I have allotted. And then I was like, I need to go to the grocery store because the cats are almost out of food for this month. I'm trying to push the next shipment until next week. So that way when it's time to do the auto ship, it doesn't actually happen in this month, it happens next month. So that has been pushed out. So I need to get cat food for both inside and outside cat food, inside and outside cats. And it's the canned food. So I can go and grab a pack. One is a 40 pack and one is a 32 pack for, one is outside, one is for the inside cats. And that should be around $60, $70 thereabouts. And then at the grocery store, I also kind of need to get just 3 more items to kind of push the rest of my food for this month. I basically allotted $100 for the grocery to get pet food and the groceries, $100 for emergency fund, the $383 for the water bill. And then I was like, I have enough money in my account to pay for the extra $129.52 on credit card number 2 to pay that off and get it at a 0 balance for the beginning of October. So that's a good thing. I'll have a credit card paid off, which is perfect. Then I only have 2 more debts to start working on paying off. And then I was looking and I'm like, well, I actually have some extra money in my checking account. Let's go ahead and try to pay some more towards the business credit card. And I plan on being able to pay $500 extra to the business credit card this month, which is great because I got the statement for that card and the minimum payment is $200, over $200, and that is more than my self-imposed $195. So I'm trying to get more paid. I'm trying to get that paid off because I'm tired of paying $100 and something every single month towards interest on stuff. So I'm just need to really focus on getting that card paid off and not putting anything else on credit card number 2 unless I absolutely need to, like emergency, only use it for emergency and cases, that type of stuff. So now let's talk about the water situation. For those of you that are new, I've been dealing with a water bill issue. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but the bill for this last month was $383. It said that I used 16,000 gallons worth of water. That's not possible. I live by myself. I don't do dishes every single day. I don't do laundry every week. I don't have a sprinkler system. I didn't run the sprinkler except for 1 hour one day. And then a couple days I ran the soaker hose, which didn't use as much water. There's not a leak. There's none of this stuff. So when I got the bill, I called, and when one of my neighbors that lives 2 houses down, she lives with her husband and they water their yard, and her bill is less than my bill. I was like, something's wrong. So that's when I called the city, talked to one of the customer service people, and they went ahead and was like, can I have a reread of my meter? And they sent someone out the following Tuesday because the following Monday was Labor Day. So on Tuesday they had someone come out and read the meter. That person did not knock on the door, didn't do anything like that. Then a couple of weeks go by, I haven't heard from anybody. I know that there's 30 days as they're going through and just going through this whole dispute type stuff. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call. Actually, what triggered the call is that I got a text message from one of my neighbors, that the one that she and I had been discussing water bills, and she is out working in her yard on a regular basis. So I went ahead, she messaged me saying there's a truck outside of your yard looking at the meter, and I was about to go and like not attack the guy, but I was gonna go outside and, you know, ask for an update. And as soon as I was about to put my shoes on and go outside, the truck drove away. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call. So I called again, talked to another customer service rep, and I luckily took picture evidence of all the stuff because it came in handy when I talked to this person. So I was like, okay, I know that someone came out on the 5th, read the meter, and I'm just trying to check for a status on what's going on, what's happening, basically. Because I'm like, because someone was just out here and no one has come up and rang the doorbell, none of that type of stuff. No one has talked to me. So I'd like to know what's going on. And she's like, okay, I see the meter was read here. And she's like, oh wait, there's a problem. It's saying you used 14,000 gallons in just a week. And I was like, yeah, that's wrong. So I went out and read the meter, and while I was on the phone with her, and she said, wait, what you're saying is less than what was manually read by our person 2 weeks ago. And she's like, that's not possible. And I was like, I have a picture, because I took a picture of the meter right after that the technician came out on the 5th. And I was like, I did a bucket test. I took pictures of all of this to double check that there's not a leak. And I did the bucket test and did all of this and so she's like, okay, send me a picture, that picture of the one right after he left with reading the meter, and then take a picture of the meter right now. So I sent those pictures to her. She's attached them into the files. It's now, it's a good drama going on with my water bill right now. So the person that came out on the 5th read my meter wrong. They read 1464 and it was actually 1454. big difference there. big difference. So I was like, okay, here's all of this. I've done the bucket test. I did the leak test. I waited, I took a picture, waited 15-30 minutes because I was in a meeting, waited that 15-30 minutes, went out, read the meter again, took a picture of it, no change whatsoever in any of the numbers, none of the dials, nothing. And then I went and filled up a 5-gallon bucket, and the meter is reading that it pulled 20 gallons. So she's like, okay, she's putting all of this stuff in there, and then she's like, let me go talk to my supervisor to figure out what the best option, because there's 2 that I'm thinking of right now. And she's like, let me go talk to the supervisor and I'll get right back to you. So she put me on hold while she went and talked to her supervisor, and when she came back, she said that she was going to send my information to their field operations group, and they were actually going to call me to set up an appointment for me to be at the house when the technician would be there to look at the meter, another technician. And I was like, okay, perfect. So we got that set up. The technician came out this past Monday on the 25th, and I went out, met him, showed him my pictures. I did the day before, I was doing yard work, so I was like, let me do the bucket test again. Let's see, let's make sure that whoever came out on the 18th didn't do something funky with my meter. So I did the meter test again, and it definitely was saying 20 gallons for a 5-gallon bucket. And I'm looking, I'm like, it goes from this to this. That to me is 20 gallons. He's like, yeah, that's saying 20 gallons. So he's like, okay, we're going to turn the water on over here and do all this testing. And then while I was out there, I wasn't talking to him, but I was just standing off to the side, messing with tree branches and stuff like that, while he was on the phone talking to the meter shop. And yeah, this is where the more drama starts up. So when he went over and turned on the faucet, went back to the meter, and he saw that the dial was just going crazy. He's like, that's spinning faster than it should. And then further investigation, my meter, once he dug up the meter, like once he's like, I'm gonna dig up the meter and put a new one in and do a new transmitter, because we have the electronic transmitter things where they drive by and will transmit the what's on the dials instead of them coming out and getting out of their vehicle and walking down the streets. So he went and did that, pulled out the meter. I came back inside while he was doing all of that, had the water shut off and everything. And he dug up the meter. My meter underneath the dial part is a 5/8 inch meter. However, the dial was saying it was for a 1 inch meter. And he went and pulled out from his truck a 1 inch meter, and it is larger, like it's larger than my head. The 5/8 inch meter is approximately about this. I mean, it's a little bit smaller. It's, you know, a little bit smaller than that. So, and that's a 32 ounce mason jar. Binks, you don't need to be up here. Binks was rubbing the camera. So I got distracted. That was his aim, was to distract me. So seeing the two comparisons of my meter, and then my neighbor, of course, came down the street and was saying, are you fixing her meter? Yeah, I'm fixing the meter. Gotta love my neighbors. They're looking out for me. So, and I'm like, see that one? That's what the dial is saying it's wanting to read, but this is what my meter actually is. And she's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, something is wrong. So needless to say, he's taken the old meter, he's tagged it, it's being sent to the meter shop. They're going to do further testing on it to make sure that what it was reading is supposed to be for a 1 inch meter and not a 5 inch meter. If that is the case, they're going to have to do some research to figure out when that meter was dug and, you know, placed in that box in my yard. And they're not going to give me money back. They're going to give me credits. So it is technically money, but credits. So no telling how much that's going to be. And the technician could not say how that it would be a for sure thing. So that's where it's up in the air still, where it's gone to the meter shop. They're testing it, and they're gonna get back with me. I have a work order number. That way I can call them up and say, okay, what's the status of this work order number? Where are we going? So that way I can do my due diligence as the customer to follow up and make sure that everything is getting done correctly. Thankfully, I have had very sympathetic customer service representatives, and the one technician I did talk to, very sympathetic, and he's like, this was installed correctly. He's like, it's getting in my workup on all of this, all the pictures he's like, I've taken pictures of everything that's been going on. It's gonna be thorough. And he's like, whoever installed this installed it poorly and installed it incorrectly, because it definitely, in his opinion, the dial is reading that it should have been, the flow that was going through there should have been for a 1-inch meter, and it wasn't. It was a 5/8 inch meter. Oh, that's hard to say. So he said, more than likely, but I cannot confirm, you will be getting credits back to your account. But that is where he can't confirm it. So I'm not gonna, I'm gonna keep following up on it, because I am with him where I feel I should be getting credits to my account, and there's no telling how much it's going to be, because I honestly don't know when that meter was ever replaced, and my mom doesn't know when it was replaced. So, and I can't ask my dad because he died 11 years ago. So I had to think about that. I'm like, he died in 2012, so 11 years ago. So that's what's going on with the meter. So yeah, story time. It's gonna be, I'm in it for the long haul. I at least have a work order number. I have not had to contact any other city authorities, political figures, or any of that type of stuff. I've been able to just calmly explain everything that I have done to the customer service reps and the technician. And when he was talking about all of that, because of my experience with what I do in my day job working with chemicals, I understand pipes and meters, and because working with pipelines, I understand, not fully, but I understand enough to understand that what he was explaining to me, it's like, yeah, that's wrong. That is wrong. And that is very wrong. So that I at least have all of that, the work order number, so that way I can follow up and do everything along that, do my due diligence as a customer and try to get it resolved and get the credits to my account and everything. So, but yeah, no telling when that meter was put in, because they're going to have to go back, because I honestly don't know when it was put in. If it was put in 4 years ago or 10 years ago, I don't know. So that is it for this week's check-in. I will be back next week with another check-in for the end of September. But before that video on next Friday, I have my cleaning video on Sunday that is going to be working on deep cleaning my kitchen. And I've been negligent on deep cleaning my kitchen this entire year. So we're tackling a lot, and I still have to do some more, and it is Wednesday. So I plan on doing some more after I get off of work here in a little bit, because I need to clean out the kitchen cabinets and everything. So that is coming up. I also went out and did yard work and reset the rest of the house. So that is what is in my cleaning video on Sunday. And on next Wednesday, I will be doing a October budget setup, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's no longer going to be in my planner. It is going to be digital. I created some printables on Canva that I will make available to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the link down below to where you can get those. and get prepared, because maybe you'll want to set up your budget along with me next Wednesday. So I hope that you guys enjoy those free little printables and everything like that. And again, they're free. I created them and they're pretty much set up just like how I kind of do this, with a few changes here and there, just because I have the format set up for all those stickers and I just didn't want to change it. So now that I was starting fresh with Canva, I was like, let me go ahead and do this. I am going to be doing this type of thing for the next couple months until January. I'm going to see if it works for me. If not, if I don't feel like the digital format with me working on my iPad works for me, I will switch back. I have another paper planner. It's not an Erin Condren, but it is another paper planner that has the same type of layout and all of that type of stuff. So I will be back next time. Please make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like this button. Let me know where you are in your debt-free journey if you have not already let me know before. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.